Hello folks, welcome to GingerLion's modded Minecraft Let's Play. This is going to be episode 30, and I wanted to bring you out and show you my quarry setup that I'm just about to tear down. Now, as you can see, it replaces all of the terrain with dirt, which I think is pretty neat, even the stuff underneath the ocean. But since I made some tesseracts last episode, I get to tear down this power system, allowing me to switch from using geothermal generators out here in the field to using the power system in my base, which admittedly is geothermal generator based, but at least it's now going to be as efficient as I can reasonably make it, and the power will be transmitted wirelessly. Also, when I come to set this up the next time, it will be much easier to do. So, let me tear all this stuff down, and I'm going to step off camera and tear down all these fences, and then I'll be right back. So, just a moment. So, while I was doing that, I sort of decided that it would be a really good idea for me to set up my quarries with link books. And while I'm at it, I might as well switch my quarrying out of the main world onto my energy world. I think it seems like a really good place for me to do my quarrying at. That way I'm doing a whole bunch of work in one place. So, see, I got a whole bunch of fences. What I'm going to do is need to make myself some link books. Oops. Do I want? No, I don't want that there. What I want is to take some leather out of here and make myself a link book to my destination. So, let me show you how this is going to work. I'm going to... just a moment. Okay, so now I have this link book that's unlinked right now. And what I'm going to do is go make a link book next to my quarry. And I'm going to take one of these linked books with me, along with, I need a book stand, which I have over here in this system. Where's my book stands? Okay, so now I'm going to head off to the nether. Be right back. Okay, here we are, folks. This is where I have my current quarry set up. If you'll notice, it quarried even into the ceiling. That's very nice, though it obviously isn't removing the bedrock. That's pretty cool. So, I am going to tear down all of this power generation and this quarry. And I think I'm going to relocate it off to my right. Yeah. So, okay. Let me tear this down and I'll be right back. Here you go, folks. Now, this is how I'm going to set up my linking. I've got myself my book stand, and I'm going to take an unlinked linking book, stand right where I want to be when I teleport into this age, and right-click it. That makes it a linking book, and it makes it a linking book to the nether. So now, I'm going to put my linking book to the overworld right here, and when I click on it, it's going to take me right back to my base. As you see, here I am in my base. And now, I'm going to put down my linking book to the nether right here. When I right-click on it, it's going to take me right back to where I was standing. This is how I'm going to get back and forth from my quarry. So now I'm going to get setting up my fences. I'll be right back. Hi folks, so now I want to show you the setup of the quarry. As you see, I made a very large quarry frame out here as high as I can in the nether. I put down my ender quarry in the middle of it and right-click on it. Successfully established boundary. Then I put my ender chest and I put down this quarry, this tesseract, connect it to main power and make sure it's set on receive mode only for energy. And there you go. It's beginning the process of mining. And items are going to be showing up here. Perfect. So, now I'm going to head back to my base and go verify that items are arriving. If you come back over here, as you can see, there's a stream of blocks arriving from the nether. Now, it also tries to quarry the empty blocks, the air blocks, as it were, in between, so there'll be gaps in between here. But there you go, there's a whole bunch more netherrack and cursed sand all streaming out of that system. Perfect. So now, my quarry is working just like I want it to. Time to go set up my other ones in my energy world. So, I want another linking book, because what I'm going to do is move a little bit further away from my origin than the main linking book. So let's go ahead and connect a link panel and leather. There's an unlinked linking book. And let me get another linking book to the overworld out of my ender chest and make sure I have a book stand. So, let's go over here. Oop! See that book? I don't want that. Occasionally, when you right-click on one of these, a book will show up in your hand. If it does, you should exit out because you don't want to accidentally drop that book on the ground. That would be very bad. So there we go. Everything's okay. Now that book's back where it's supposed to be, and I can go through to my energy world. Here you are. This is the energy world that I built, and I want to be a little bit away from the starting area when I build my quarry. As you see, it's nice and flat. It's going to be easy to work on. I can have all of my stuff in the same place. So, I'm just going to fly up north a ways. Let's see. How far do I want to be? A good ways. I think I'm actually going to head north until I'm at area about, let's see, 1,000 to be enough? There's 700, 800, 900. Yeah, I think about 1,000 is going to be good. So, I'm going to land somewhere around here. This seems like a good area for me to set up in. So, I am going to set up my quarry frame, and as soon as I've set up my quarry frame and all that stuff, I'll be right back. Okay, folks, so I was setting up my quarry frame, as you can see, with this large fenced-in area. It actually comes back down to that red square and over in a square. And I ran into this obelisk and began digging under it for items and came to a realization. It looks like this entire age is filled with nothing but dirt. There's absolutely no ore down here. There's absolutely no ore generation. There's nothing. All the way down to bedrock, there's nothing but dirt. And that's pretty useless if I intend to set up a quarry. And that's a problem for me. So, what I'm going to do, after I've, dug up enough dirt, because we were complaining earlier about me not having enough dirt, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to rip up this entire fence that I had laid out, and then I'm going to come back to you. So yeah, it's going to take me a while to rip up this fence, and I think I'll do that off camera. So I'll see you guys in a minute. Here we go, folks, and I think I'm going to put together myself a mining age for you, and I think I'll do that on camera, because I think that's pretty neat. Let me just go back to my normal form. First, what I need is a notebook. With a notebook in hand, I take that notebook, make sure there's nothing in it, and place it in the bottom right-hand corner of this desk. Now, I make sure there's enough paper and ink. Let me actually grab a little bit more paper. That seems like a really good idea. I've only got 28. While I'm away, please make me 2 more stacks of paper. That seems like a good idea. Good. So, I'm over here, load this in the desk. Now I know I have enough paper for the age. So first what I'm going to do is pick a biome. What biome do I really want? There are a huge number of choices, but I think what I really want is one with emeralds. So let's see. Extreme Hills. An Extreme Hills biome is very high in altitude. Great. So now let's make a single biome. Now what else? I would really like some netherrack. Where's my netherrack? Are there any other bricks in here that I want? Oh, sorry, nether quartz. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, some nether quartz would be really good. Is there anything else? Nothing that I can see. So I would like, let's see, nether quartz ore. Right click on that. That added that. And I would like nether quartz ore, let's see, spheres. I think spheres is a good idea. So what that should do is produce spheres that float around in the air, there it is, made of the block that I just specified. There we are. Extreme Hills, single biome, nether quartz spheres. Perfect. Now, what would I like along with that? I would like no weather by preference. And then bright lighting is good. With, again, like I made before, a 0 length zenith phase. that what I want? Yep, zero length, zenith phase, normal sun. Good. Yep. And then normal weather, normal lighting, normal stars. That should all be good. So is there anything else here that I want particularly? Nope. And then let's clear modifiers just to make sure that all is well. Look around one more time. Let's see. Strongholds are fine. Yeah, villages are fine. Yeah. Let's see. Obelisks are fine. Mine shafts would be nice. I don't need a flat world. I'd love to put on dense ores, but it always makes horrible instability, so there's no... I'm not going to apply that. As much as I'd like to, it always makes an unstable age. And once more, let's clear modifiers just to make sure that if I did anything wrong, that it still works out. So, I need myself a link panel. I take that link panel and I drop it in here, and then I right-click with the notebook and it drops all of those choices in there. So, let's grab myself some more leather. I think I put it all away on accident. Yep. Now, put the leather in here, grab the book. There's my descriptive book. Now, I'm going to put it down right here and go on through. Let's see what we generate. Definitely a sun up there. All is well. Looks like I'm surrounded by... Oh, there's the nether quartz I was looking for, but it's in tendrils. And there's an explosion over there. That's not good. Let me look around for a minute. I think that this world has the instability either of explosions or of meteors, and I'm not sure. There's some fire over there. That's not a good sign. I just saw an explosion in the sky. It definitely has the spheres that I had asked for. It also has tendrils. These spheres are nice because if you want a specific... Oh, yeah. That looks like an explosion or a meteor. I think I must have done something wrong in the process of creating this. It's possible that I chose no weather and normal weather at the same time. Yep, see that explosion? That's not going to be okay. Now, I could theoretically set up in this age, but I don't think it would be a particularly good idea. It would likely lead to my construction being destroyed. So as nice an age as this is in terms of materials, this is not a place that I'm going to set up. So, let me grab out of my ender chest a linking book for return, and go... I'm just gonna use that here in the air. So, I'm gonna return to my base, and I'm going to write up another age or two until I find one that really works for me, because this age doesn't, and I'll be right back once I'm done. Here you go, folks. So, I wrote up just one more age, and it worked out just fine. You'll notice that it's all one place. It's got a very nice sun spread above us. I went with tendrils instead of spheres this time, because I think it looks really good. You'll see an obelisk down there. This is all one age. Hey, look, there's even a library. Nice. The cows seem to have a negative status effect of some kind. It's probably hunger. But that's just fine by me. My power armor is protecting me from it, and so I see no significant disadvantage to this age. So, I think I'm going to keep it. Good. So, there is a stable, well-written age that I can use to set up my mining quarries in. So, I've got my linking book. Let me set up a book stand. And let me set up that linking book on it so that I can get home anytime I want to, just like that. And then it automatically filled my hand. That was nice. And I'm going to put away the notebook that I don't need. A hopseed sapling. I think I'll go toss that in my sorting system. Nice. And back over here to this mystcraft age. So, I think... Yeah, I think this place is great for me setting up my mining. And I'm going to go get the stuff I need and set it up, and I'll be right back. Here you go, folks. I've set up these two large fence boundaries, both very close to each other, and I've turned on F9 so that you can see that all of this is in one chunk. This makes it much easier for me to set this up. So let me chop out a piece of fence on either side here, one on each side, and then I'm going to toss my two ender quarries, my tesseract. So I put a quarry in each fence line, and then I right click on each one to get it to establish successful fence boundaries. They light up, as you can see. I'm going to put an ender chest in between them. It's going to use that, both of them are going to use it for storage purposes. And then I'm going to put my tesseract set to receive energy and to ignore everything else connected to main power. Now all I need is some redstone energy conduits. I connect one here and one here, and both of these quarries are set up, and they're going to begin running. Now, I could go over there and verify which location it is that they're running in, but that's just fine. I guarantee that they are working exactly as they're supposed to. I just saw sparkles just for a little bit. Okay, good. So, here it is. My quarries going to get me a lot more items in this age. I made it just a little bit of a ways away from my start place, just in case I decide I want to set up more quarries or more items in this age. As you can see, they're within range right there. And that's pretty nice. So, I've now completed that. Now I just want to go and make sure that items are actually arriving like I wanted them to. I could look down. I think I'll go down here. Just a sec. So, if I come over here and look, as you see, there's lots and lots of blocks flowing out of here, and it's actually using all 4 of these logistics chassis to pull items out when it's completely full. So that's a good sign that I'm pushing my system relatively close to the maximum of what it's capable of. So, good. Good, good, good. So, that's quarrying of items, all set up. Look at all these things that are streaming in, all loading into my system just fine. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. All of that's running off of this one main power connection from here, and now I don't have a whole bunch of other lava uses out there in the field. So, as you can see, I've got a whole bunch of items, and they're coming in really good. Nice. Very nice. So, now, what are we going to do? Now, we've got items again. It's time to start work on that nuclear reactor. So, what are my next steps? Let me come over here and check. We automated fuel reprocessing. We can't do until we have fuel to reprocess. So we need a reactor control display board and a remote thermometer, MFSUs for storage, automated construction of reactor components. I'm pretty sure we've got that covered. So I'm going to tear that down off the wall. That seems like a good idea. Drawbridge and reactor chamber sealing, that's fine. I honestly think the MFSUs are probably the thing that's most important for me, but I'm going to go ahead and add something else to it now, and that's going to be transportation of power. If I could type correctly, just a sec. Transportation of power. That's going to be very important now that we're working in a different age. So I think I'm going to get set up and start working on the MFSUs next. So, let me get started on that. No, actually, I think... Yeah, I just realized something while we were away. I had to restart my system once or twice and realized that the quarries in alternate ages stop running if they're not chunk loaded. Now, I know that I've discussed with you before chunk loading mechanics, but let me cover it one more time with a little twist. When you set up an ender quarry or an ender pump in the nether or the overworld, it will automatically chunk load itself. That means that even though there's no player nearby, it will load up and operate. However, those same quarries running in non-vanilla ages, i.e. running out here in these mystcraft worlds, will not automatically chunk load themselves completely. Here's the difference. The age will not load without a chunk loader or a player being present. I could set this at 1, but I'm just going to set it at 9. So basically what I'm doing is I'm setting up a chunk loader here that will kickstart the age into action, and then the quarries themselves will load themselves. So if you want to do automated things in alternate ages, even if you have other devices that automatically chunk load themselves, you need to make sure that you have a chunk loader. See, the Ender Quarry itself should normally chunk load itself. But again, that's only in vanilla ages. If you want it to operate as specified, you have to preload the dimension with a chunk loader. It'll work fine until the first time you restart your system, but then it won't continue working. So, wow, I got a lot of guys out there. So, anyway, so there. Now we have that chunk loaded. Now we need to move on to our next steps. And our next steps really involve doing a whole bunch of work out in those other dimensions. And so I think I'm actually going to cover the transportation of power process before I do power storage for the MFSUs and MFEs. And the way that I'm going to do that is a little bit tricky. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Applied Energistics mod. Let me show you. Here's the Applied Energistics mod. There's all the items that it has. And one of the things that it has, I can't see it right now, just a minute, not the energy cell, is singularities. Singularities are used in the process of connecting two ME systems with each other across lots of space or dimensions. Basically what you have to make is these quantum field rings, and you make them in a 3x3 pattern with the center empty, and you put a quantum link chamber in the center, and then you put a linked singularity in it. Now these are a whole bunch of relatively complicated steps, so I'd like you to bear with me as I go through the process of setting this up so that I can show you how it works as opposed to just describing it. So, first thing that we're going to need to do is go downstairs and start teaching our assembly system how to make some of the things that it needs to build these link chambers. I could build them by hand. I'm not going to make a lot of them, but I think it's a better idea if I do it automatically. So, sorry, I'm having jetpack problems. So, now, I want to connect here through to the energy world, and what I'd like to do when I'm all done is be able to, from the energy world, access all of the items in my ME system. And then I don't have to think about teleporting power, per se. I can just know that items are shared back and forth between my system here and the same system that's connected in the energy world. That will mean that all of the objects, all of the let me show you. All of the manufacturing tools that I have set up here to, for example, make nuclear fuel rods will all be basically connected to my nuclear reactor, despite the fact them being in two completely different dimensions. So, let me get started, and I'll be right back to you. Okay, here we are, folks. So, I've already taken some of the recipes that I'm going to need, and I've made up recipes for them, and I'm about to put them into my molecular assembler. So, let's get started with all the pieces that I need. Now, I told you that I need quantum field rings. Quantum field rings are made of basic processors, advanced processors, energy cells, and ME cables. Now, those are all things that I know how to make at the moment. My system already has all of these encoded in it. So, that one's a relatively easy one. Let me show you. Where is it? Come on. Why can't? There it is. The only thing that's different is the energy cell. I have never made an energy cell before, and it's made of fluix crystals and glass and iron. Relatively easy, so the energy cell is the next thing that we're going to have to be able to make, and there's a pattern for the energy cell. That's pretty easy. Now, once I have quantum field rings, the next thing that I need are link chambers in the middle, and those are made of fluix pearls and quartz glass. So, I already have the recipe for Fluix pearls, which are, so there's the recipe for the link chamber, and, oop, wrong thing, and the recipe for Fluix pearls already included. Just a minute. Okay, so but I haven't ever taught it how to make quartz glass. The reason is because I haven't taught the system how to make the various quartz dusts. Now, I have a huge amount of nether quartz, so that's easy. So I'm going to use the nether quartz dust. But I haven't taught the system how to make nether quartz dust. And the same with Certus quartz dust. I haven't taught the system how to make it, and I need to, because at some point I am going to run out of these two dusts, and I'm going to need them. So, the next step in the process, I need a Certus quartz, and I need a nether quartz, and then I need one of... No, I need it. I need one of each of the types of dust, and that will allow me to teach the system how to make these things, should it ever need them, which I guarantee it will at some point. Now, let me check just to make sure. What are the recipes for them? Certus quartz dust, one in the macerator, and one in the pulverizer, and no other ways of making it. And the nether quartz dust, let's see, one in the macerator and one in the pulverizer. Okay, so it doesn't matter which machine that I use. Let me go ahead and make the recipes, clear this out. No, that's not right. One Certus quartz dust. Quartz equals a Certus quartz dust, encoded. And one nether quartz equals one nether quartz dust. Encode that. Now I have these two recipes, and I'm going to take them downstairs and put them in the faster of the two devices, because I have both of them set up. But the macerator has overclockers in it, so it will be much faster. There we go. Now the system can make those whenever it needs them. So, I know that I need the nether quartz dust itself, because I want to make the quartz glass, and if I shift-clicked it in here, it might mess up. So what I'm going to do is actually make sure that I have all of the exact items that I want, and I'm going to manually put it in. This keeps me from worrying about if I had shift-clicked this recipe in here. Let me show you. See how it toggles back and forth? It might grab the wrong item. By me doing it manually, I make sure that I get the right thing. Now, let me lay this out. No, it looks like I've got it wrong somehow. How do I have it wrong? The glass needs to be on the sides. For some reason, I got that wrong. Often when these recipes are like this, I will get the wrong one in there. Oh, and I need one in the center. There we go. And that makes 4. Encoded, easy. Toss that in. And now it knows how to make all of the things necessary for the quantum field ring, which is made out of this energy cell, and the quantum link chamber, which is going to be made out of the quartz glass that we just made it, and the Fluix pearls. So, now, let's go over and tell the system to make all of these things so that I can actually show you how this is laid out. Here we go. Let me just check something. Yeah, okay, good. Toss these back in, and let's go ahead and make enough for both links, this end and the other, which means that I'm going to need 16 of these, and then I'm going to need 2 of these. And let's let it get started on making them. If I look over here, oh, it looks like I never taught the system how to make Fluix crystals. That's silly. Do I not have a recipe for Fluix crystals? That's weird. Well, okay, so let's get to the right page where I can put the next one in, and let's teach this the recipe for making Fluix crystals. They're very simple. One of each of the 2 types and a redstone encoded. Toss it in, and immediately that should clear the backlog, and the system should begin making processors and begin working its way up toward making these quantum links. Yep. Okay. So, it looks like it's made the chambers already. Good. Now, I gotta decide where I want to lay these out. I could do it over here. I've got lots of power over there, but let me think. And like I said, I got lots of power over here, but it's a long way from my ME system. Let's see. I could do it. I could do it up there. I sort of like being able to get in there. No, I think I'm going to do it up here. So let me grab myself some cobblestone so that I can sort of mock this up. No, I wanted the cobblestone. I didn't want it on the floor. Okay, so let me clear these out. They're just sitting here for no use anymore since I removed the device they were attached to. There's power for me. And there's a network connection. I think I'm going to do it way up on the wall up there. So let's see. I'm going to shift down into bat form. That'll be a little bit easier and faster. And up we go. Okay, good. Now, I want power from there. I want network connection from there. I think up on the wall is pretty. So, let's mock up. That's where I want the ring to go. You know, actually, I think I want the ring in the wall. So let me dig back a little bit. Yeah, let's dig right in there. And that's where I want the link chamber to go. So, let me clear up the rest of these blocks. And then, I think I'm going to dig right into the wall right now and set up. That's where the quantum field rings are going to go once I've got them made. That's where I'm going to get power. Let's see, network connection from here, power from there. Yeah, that seems like a good idea. It blocks my entrance back there, but I think that'll be fine. Okay, now, I really don't like being in bat form when I don't need to be. So, oh, wrong thing. Okay, so now let's see if it's completed making our field rings. Yeah, I'm going to need that in a minute. Just a sec. Yeah. Okay, so look, it's got all 16 of the field rings. Good. Perfect. Now, back into bat form. So when you take these quantum field rings and you surround your quantum link chamber with it, it becomes a multi-block and forms up just like that with the pretty edges and corners. If you see those large center things, that's where you need to connect power and your network connection. And in the center is where you need to put the singularity, which we haven't made yet. So, here we go. Let me get myself some cable. Yeah, there it is. I know it's on the page somewhere. And that cable will allow us to connect. So now it's connected in terms of data, and now we need power. So conduits, there are my power conduits. And now I need to connect that. You'll note it lights up nice pretty blue. That's an indication that it is connected, both data and power, all is well. Oops. And so now we have this built. It doesn't have a quantum singularity in the middle of it yet, which means that it won't actually do anything, but it's built and its structure is built. So now, let me put this stuff that I don't need away. I don't need that right now. Yeah. So, now, the next thing that we need is a quantum singularity. And they're not the easiest thing in the world to make. So, first thing that we need to make one is this thing called an ME condenser. And let me have the system build one. It's relatively simple and easy to make. And I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it, it needs to be connected to the network somewhere. There's a good spot. Just going to put it in right here. And what the condenser does is it takes matter and condenses it down into data and allows us to make one of two things. It either makes ammunition for the weapon that is included in ME, or it makes singularities. But it needs a storage cluster to do that. So, it basically needs to store the raw data somewhere. And that's, so it makes whatever is listed over here, There's the matter cannon that I was talking about. It can make matter for the matter cannon to use as ammo, or it can make the quantum singularities. But it needs a storage cluster to be able to storage data. If you're making a singularity. If you're just making ammo, you could use a much smaller storage array. So, I already I already taught my system how to make storage clusters. So, I'm going to ask it to make one, which is going to take a while. It's going to use a lot of processors up. It's going to, let me make sure. Yeah, let me look over here. Yeah, see, it's using up processors and making storage segments. This is going to take a while. So, I'm going to take this off camera. I don't really need to sit here and watch this whole thing get made, and there's nothing else that I necessarily need to show you. Oh, crap. It ran out of processors. I'm going to actually tell it to make a whole bunch of processors, and that'll make it a lot faster. So, like I said, while it's crafting processors and assembling this, I'm going to take this off camera, and I'll be back once it's done making this storage segment. Hello, folks. So, turns out that I had a problem and I wanted to show it to you. See this quartz cutting knife pattern? It says 1 river cane, 1 iron ingot, 1 stick, and 2 Certus quartz. This is what happens when you shift-click a recipe into an encoded pattern. I don't have river cane. I don't want river cane. But because the recipe can be made with just about anything, if you shift-click it in, you're often going to get the wrong thing. So, I am going to shift right click on this, completely clearing that pattern, and I'm going to grab the things that I need that I know that I have in my inventory or that I've taught my system how to build in the first place. This way, I know that it has the right things. It's a little lazy to shift click in there. It's nice, it's fast, but sometimes it leads to glitches that hang your whole system up, and you need to troubleshoot those. So, now, I'm going to teach it how to make the quartz cutting knife one more time, but this time I'm doing it by hand. There we are. That quartz cutting knife is used to make processors, and without it, I simply wouldn't have processors to work with. So, now, I unfortunately have to clear this command out. Yep. Now, let's see if it's completely finished making my... No, it's not a storage cell that I want. It's a storage... Yeah, there we are. It's the storage segment. Storage cluster. That's what I meant. Okay, so I'm going to put the storage cluster in here. Now it has a place to store data. Now it needs something to work on. I could destroy it. It could condense matter balls into singularity. You know, that takes 256 somethings per item. Not even sure what the unit is that they're talking about. So now, it needs items. There are a couple of ways that I could go about that. I could put in an export bus and export things into this, but that's a little uncontrolled. So instead what I'm going to do, let me clear up my inventory real quick. Instead, what I'm going to do is make a drive to put in that upper left slot, and then I'm going to store specific things on that drive that I don't want anymore, that I want to recycle. So let me start by making a drive. And I'm not sure what size... I thought I taught that. I did. Okay, good. I'm not sure what drive I'm going to need, but I'm not going to make the 64K drive. That feels wasteful. I'll make the next down, the 16K drive. Maybe I would need a 64K, but at the moment, 16 seems like a good range for me to have that make. And there we go. It's going to go through this process of working its way down through making all of the various storage things that it needs. Now, there's something else that I need in the process. I need a pattern encoder. Pattern encoder is what's going to allow me to configure this drive the way that I want it to. So, let's see. What's involved in making this pattern encoder? I need a crafting table, that's obvious. Let's see what planks I have. Not enough, but I can tell it to make more. Just go ahead and make more. Yeah, good. Now I can make myself a crafting table, vanilla. That's easy, toss that in the system. And what was the other thing that I needed? Where is it? Pattern encoder. I need a conversion matrix. There we go. So let's see what I've got in terms of a conversion matrix. I think I actually taught the system how to make these. It would seem silly for me not to have. Okay. Make a conversion matrix for me, please. There we go. There's a conversion matrix. Now let me tell it to make the pattern encoder. Now, pattern encoder does not need to be connected to the network, but I think I'll put it right here anyway. It's nice and simple connected. Wait a second. The pattern encoder isn't what I need. What is it that I... Is my drive ready yet? It should be, yes. There it is, the 16K storage drive. So, now, what I want to do is configure this. I made the wrong thing. I did make the wrong thing. Let me pick that up. That's useless to me now. What was it that I needed? The partition editor. Made almost identically, which is why it confused me. So, let me go ahead and have this build a partition editor. I'm only going to need one of these, so there's no reason for me to teach the system how to make a partition editor. So I'm just going to have it build the various pieces that it needs. How frustrating. One sec. Begin making one of those, and you know how to make a crafting grid. And hopefully those are ready now. It is. So, here we go. The partition editor is what I needed. Shift click it into here. Now I have a partition editor. Now, let's put that down and I'll show you what to do. So what a partition editor is designed to do is designed to tell a drive what things you can store on it. And so what I really want to configure this to do is to only store cobblestone. Configure partition based on currently stored. No, that clearly didn't work. Okay, so that and hit format. This drive is now formatted so that it can only hold cobblestone. This drive won't hold anything but cobblestone. So now I'm going to take that drive and I'm going to come over here to my I/O port. I'm going to switch the mode of the I/O port from transfer to storage cell. Now, when I put the storage cell in here, what it should do, it'll take it a couple of seconds, but what it's going to do is grab data off of the network and load it onto that drive. But that drive is partitioned, so that drive is set so that it will only store cobblestone. Was there something wrong here? No, there we go, it's working. So basically, it's going to suck cobblestone off the network. If you look in the lower right, in fact, you'll notice that the amount of cobblestone that I have is ticking down. And so I'm basically sucking cobblestone out of the network onto this storage drive. I could have said anything. I could set anything that I wanted to recycle. But cobblestone is fast and easy. I have a lot of it, and there's no reason for me to use anything else. So, once this drive is completely filled, I will pull it out of here, and then we will move it down into the the recycler. Why can't I remember its name? That's fine. As soon as this is filled, like I said, we will pull it out, we'll put it down there, and it will begin converting it into matter, which will allow us to make our quantum singularity, which we will then turn into a paired, entangled quantum singularity. So anyway, here, the drive is complete. It's completely full. I'm going to take it, and I'm going to move it down to the ME chest just to show you what it has is 130,000 cobblestone on it and nothing else. Now, I'm going to put this in here, and it's immediately going to begin draining out accumulated energy out of this drive into here, making ourselves a singularity. So, this is going to take a little while, and I'm just going to let it sit while it accumulates, and I'll be right back when it's done. Okay, here we are, folks. It took 2 full drives full. Here's the second drive worth of, if you look, there's 34,000 on the right. There, it's almost done. And there we are. One singularity made with 4,996 data left over. There's the singularity that we needed. But unfortunately, we are way past our usual wrapping up point. So, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Next episode, I will show you how to turn that singularity into an entangled singularity, and we will attach our network to an alternate dimension. I'll see you next time, folks. Hope you had a good one.